Hello the internet, welcome to Chaos Theory. I'm your host, J.R. Simmons. Today we're going to be talking about something that is very dear to my heart, time travel. Let's get into it. Time travel is really complicated in TV and movies because nobody is really clear what the rules are. Now, there are many different TV shows, movies, and video games that use time travel as a plot device. Take Looper, or Time Cop, or Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, or Terminator. Oh god, trust me, its day is coming. But the real problem lies when you get TV shows that tell you that they know what they're doing, but they really don't. Like Doctor Who, or DC's Legends of Tomorrow. They want to tell you that they have some kind of rules set, but they break them all the time. They're always changing, but despite all their inconsistencies, they usually keep to a set number of kinds of time travel, and that's what we're here to talk about today. There are really three distinct kinds of time travel. Number one, fluid time travel. Let's say I go back in time and kill my grandfather before I am born. I would then cease to exist, and everything I had ever done would change, and the entire universe would be basically ripped asunder. That's number one, fluid, where everything can be changed, but it basically just fucks everything up when it happens. Number two, fixed time travel. Everything in the universe is basically set. So if time travel occurs, it was always meant to occur. There are no tangent timelines, no separating flows. If I go back in time, I was always meant to go back in time, but whatever I changed was always meant to happen. It cannot be done in any other way. It's basically predestination. There's really no other way to change it. That's the way it always has to be. A good example of this is the recent episode of Game of Thrones, episode 5 of season 6, known as The Door, because of Hold the Door.
Hold the door!
I need a minute.
Hold the door!
Hold the door! Hold the door!
Put together. Now, if you know what that means, I love you. If you don't, how could you not? It's Game of Thrones. If you haven't seen Game of Thrones at this point, like, what? It's everywhere. It's literally, like, everywhere. It's like breathing. It's everywhere. Watch Game of Thrones. Are we all clear on fixed time travel? You can't answer me. I'm moving on. Last but not least, we have the third kind of time travel that most people seem to use. I like to call it alternate timeline theory. Let's say I go back in time and again kill my grandfather. I would not fade out of existence. I would still continue to exist because I was born in another timeline. That timeline has been erased, but I still came from there. It's like an alternate universe. Let's say my sonic screwdriver is the prime timeline, okay? There we are on the prime timeline. I go back on the timeline, kill my grandfather, and let's say that this iPhone charger is the alternate universe I have then created. It now exists as a tangent timeline. I am still living on it, however. It's just that it is the new prime timeline. Make sense? I'm still living in it. I would not cease to exist because my grandfather had been killed. I still came from somewhere. I don't think the universe self-corrects. I don't think because I came from here and this now exists, my grandfather being dead and me never having been born in this timeline, I don't think the universe would erase me or evaporate me in a blue screen of smoke. Flash TV show like you did.
Eddie's his ancestor. If Eddie dies, he'll never be born. He's being erased from existence.
That was weird. Now, to the point. I submit a new kind of time travel. Let's assume that every one of the ones that I just labeled could exist. There is fixed time travel, fluid time travel, and alternate universe time travel. They all exist. Why? Because the universe is so massive and so huge on every scale that maybe, just maybe, depending on what you do at different times, the universe would react in different ways. Doctor Who has never been very good at time travel. Sorry. I love you. You're one of my favorite shows of all time. But you've never been very consistent when it comes to your time travel. Like, look, the Doctor says that there are fixed points in time, right? But he breaks them all the time. And the results are always completely and utterly different. They're always totally strange and weird, and we never actually get a solid answer as to what happens. One time, he breaks a fixed point, and all of time collapses on a single moment, and, like, it's all happening at once, and, like, Winston Churchill was the president and knows what downloads are. Like, what? And then another time, he broke it, and, like, monsters came out of a portal and, like, tried to eat everything. What? How does that make any goddamn sense? And there was another time when he did it and nothing changed. There was no repercussions at all. The point is, perhaps Doctor Who is showing us something. Perhaps every kind of time travel is possible in set amounts. I submit this as the universal time travel theory. That all time travel is possible in every possible dimension, and the universe is just so big that everything is possible. That's the universal theory. That's my position on time travel. And that's the episode.